Chris Stephens.
Well, thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it's a pleasure to be called early in this debate. I'm usually here a lot. I'm usually waiting a lot longer than that. So get on with it, says the Labour front bench. So thank you. In terms of justice, I hope the Minister heard from my honourable friend for Glasgow Central and the work that's being done in Scotland with the Violence Reduction Unit. I was a member of the Cross-Party Youth Violence Commission here in this place, and there is a lot of work in Scotland in relation to this, because it's also a public health issue, and yes, education and lifelong learning have its role in tackling that too, and I hope he will take that on board. Now, in terms of the King's speech itself, Madam Deputy Speaker, it's been an extraordinary 5 days. It started off with a lot of the hard right-wing rhetoric, and now we see that the government's trying to move to a centrist position. Quite extraordinary. And I listened to the Honourable Member for Northampton North, and I've heard others, and I hope that he will condemn the far-right thuggery that we saw at the weekend in London and elsewhere. These were not, as I've seen the phrase being used, counter-protesters. They were far-right thugs. And every single member of this chamber should condemn those individuals. Those individuals, Madam Deputy Speaker, who are wearing a poppy in their jackets and showing a swastika tattoo at the same time. An absolute outrage and, frankly, a despicable sight that we saw at the weekend. But there are, of course, other measures mentioned in the King's speech, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it will be obvious now after today's Supreme Court judgment that there will be yet another immigration bill. That annual event that takes place in this place since I've been here in 2015, in which there is yet another immigration bill to try and fix the broken asylum system that we have in this country. And I'm concerned, Madam Deputy Speaker, when I had my surgery on Friday in Govan, when I met a Palestinian constituent who has been denied asylum by the Home Office, who hasn't heard from his family in 10 days in Gaza, been denied refugee status in the United Kingdom. That tells me, Madam Deputy Speaker, how broken the asylum system actually is. And I hope that the Home Office will meet me to discuss that particular individual case. But what was most surprising about the King's speech was there was very little measures to tackle the cost of living crisis, or as I call it, the cost of greed crisis, which is taking place across these islands. It's interesting, Madam Deputy Speaker, that in America, President Joe Biden has launched a food poverty strategy to eliminate food poverty by the year 2030. And this government won't match that ambition here. And I certainly intend to table a bill because we need that strategy to eliminate food poverty. There are far too many of our citizens across these islands who are going hungry. And I think it's a disgrace that that's happening in an economy like ours. It's been left to the rest of us, Madam Deputy Speaker, to develop a community shop network, to sell food at affordable rates, to sell food at cost, to help people move away from food banks, the emergency need. And we need that sort of system, and we need the government to take food poverty in this country extremely seriously, because, as I've said, there are far too many who are in food poverty, including, I would say, far too many children. It makes me weep when I hear of some of the stories that are reported to my office who have to get the basic essentials. And we need essentials guarantees in the universal credit system, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's incredible that we have this ridiculous situation in which the universal credit system, which is there as a so-called safety net, is no longer a safety net for many of the reasons, because universal credit and the social security system is also broken. And there were opportunities in the King's speech for the government to do that, and they sadly did not. I associate myself, Madam Deputy Speaker, with the remarks of the Chair of the Home Affairs Committee about infected blood and the lack of action that was in the King's speech. It's no longer good enough, Madam Deputy Speaker, for the government to sneak out statements just before recesses or prorogation to talk about the lack of action that's taking place for far too many people who have been caught up in that scandal. We will continue to call that out, Madam Deputy Speaker. There needs to be debates in this chamber and statements regularly in this chamber for members of all sides to call the government to account for their slow pace and the snail's pace. And lastly, Madam Deputy Speaker, I'll be voting in the name of humanity and I'll be supporting a ceasefire in the division lobby tonight.